Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. So the review we're doing today is between the Silca Futura Pro, which is the top of the line machine for Silca, and the Keyline Ninja Total, which is the top of the line for the Keyline Ninja range. So they're both very similar machines, both compact machines that do multiple functions, multiple different types of key cutting, tablets on board, computerized code cutting machines. Both come in at a fairly decent price, which is fairly competitive, and everything about them seems to be fairly competitive. So the question is, if you were looking at one machine over the other machine, how do you really get a good gauge of which one is which and what they are all about? So that's what this review is about, just basically being able to identify how they work and how they do what they do. Sometimes one machine might do it a particular way, and sometimes another machine might do it a different way, using different technologies or different methods or different measurements, but generally they all do the same thing. So how to find out which one is suitable for you is a big question. That's why this video goes on for some time. Make note, we also will put some bookmarks down in the description. We also will put some links down in the description. We do not sell these key machines. You will have to go through your authorized dealer in the area that you are in. We'll put a link down below to the authorized dealers in Australia, and you'll have to sort out your own if you're outside that. One more note, we are not a tech support service. We do not have technicians who work on these machines. If you've got any questions, welcome to post it in the comments, but we cannot help you because we are not a repair center for these particular type of machines. Okay, with that being said, let's get on with it and let's throw everything at them. So we're just going to cut these two keys now. They're all loaded, side by side, and start. And the winner is Ninja Total, the fastest key cutter. Okay, so for speed, Ninja Total does it quicker because it does less passes. Size and weight of the machines is almost identical. There's a small weight difference and a very small length and width difference. All the measurements are on screen, but I was quite surprised because I thought the Ninja was smaller, but it works out it's actually a little bit bigger. And I just want to make one more point about the tablets and about the power. Because the Ninja Total is powering its tablet through the machine, as soon as you push that button on, that tablet automatically wakes up. As soon as you turn the button off, that tablet automatically turns off. With the Silca Futura, the tablet is independent from the machine. So if you cut power to the machine, the tablet will still be on because it has an internal battery. So that means that you actually have to physically power it down. And you've got to play with this little tiny button on the top. That could have been better. That's one of my dislikes about it. And often I've come up to the machine and the tablet has been out of battery. So it takes a little while for it to charge up before then it can actually boot up. So that has caught me out a couple of times, and that's something that was a little bit annoying to me. So there's another. Okay, let's talk about single and double-sided cutting cutters. So here's your cutter here. Okay, it's basically a titanium cutter designed for high use and high accuracy. To replace it, there is a nut behind here. You can take this plastic off, put the pin in, spin your spanner in the anti-clockwise direction, or the opposite to what you'd normally do, and the cutter will come off. You can replace it. Lifespan from the sales rep was telling me probably about 5,000 to 6,000 on this one here. The cutters for the laser side of things, the dimple keys and all the rest, are these ones here. Here they are here. They've got a cradle up the top and they're marked as well. So those right there, I don't actually know the actual lifespan of those, and I was hoping somebody would be able to give some sort of feedback. So you've got a range of them here. So for dimple, double-sided, and a small one here, I think it's a 1.5 for probably some more intricate keys. Okay, here you have the same type of thing, titanium coated cutter. To remove it, basically you need to lock the cradle, so there'll be a hole where you push a pole through here. You spin this in the opposite direction you normally would for undoing, because it's a reverse thread, and then you can replace the cutter. I don't know the exact specs, but I would be saying they'd probably be pretty similar to the Keyline Total one, so probably expect about 5,000 to 6,000. Laser cutting location is up the back here, and this is where you can put all your little cutters. There's room for them there. This one here basically is your standard cutter. It's very similar in size, maybe slightly a little bit bigger compared to the Ninja Total, but it basically does the same thing. One of the little fancy tests I thought would do is EMF testing, see if it's giving out any electromagnetic fields. So I ran the meter across it, and as you see, it's like one of those meters they use in Ghostbusters. Probably could catch a ghost with this thing. Anyway, I didn't get many hits. I got a few when the machine was actually moving. Nothing much at all, and there wasn't really much difference between them. It seems the Total uses possibly more motors, or has a larger motor in it, and that's possibly why it got a slightly higher reading. But what does this mean? Like, what does this EMF do, and how would it change your day? Well, just to compare it, what I did was I basically compared it against a computer screen, and the computer screen got like 4 times the amount. So, in other words, wear a tinfoil hat if you need to. Okay, next test I want to test between the Futura and the Keyline is the sound. So I've got my little sound machine. This has the Ninja Total was about 80 decibels. Okay, Futura Pro, same conditions. Okay, so it looks as if the Ninja Total is quieter by about 10 decibels. Okay, so Silca Futura Pro, demonstrating the 4-way jaws. Jaw A, back that off. Jaw B, jaw C, jaw D, shoulder guide. On the laser side of things, these are your jaw markings here. Jaws are removable by just pulling them out. Locked in by a ball bearing, spring-loaded ball bearing. Both sides are removable. Just pop that one back in. And this bottom clamp as well is removable by a hex screw on the side here. So you undo that, you can slide this whole carriage out. Ninja Total, demonstrating the 4-way jaws. Jaw A, found that too loose. Jaw B, jaw C, jaw D, shoulder guide. On the other side where the laser is, we have removable jaws once again. These can actually come out. You have different tip stops. You also have sleeves which are available. These are removable by the hex screw, and you can basically slide in a complete new jaw. Extra little clamp bit. So the Ninja Total actually had that little metal part there to stop the keys from rolling, which is something I didn't find on the Futura at all. With the Futura here, you can clamp it in, and every now and again you might get a key which might roll or miscut because it comes loose. To prevent this, Silca actually give you a little piece of wire, and a lot of us are very familiar with loading up a key with a little piece of wire there, especially on these LF27. But Keyline introduced that little piece of metal there, which I think is a kind of a good idea. So that's something that definitely is different. Okay, now I'm going to do a quick little walkthrough. The program is quite intense, and there's a lot more there than I've got time to kind of display. But basically, this is a LW4 key, so it's one of our bread and butter type of keys. I'm going to explain some of the data on here and show you some of the things you can do, and then I'm going to show you the same thing on the Ninja Total. So here we have our key with the actual bitting here. We have the spacers here which tell us at that bitting what height they are. We can go to cuts. We can change any cut we want. Cancel. I hope that didn't take me back. It did. Oh. Card. Okay, we have the decoding function as well, where we could simply push that, put it in the clamp, and clean the decoder, and it'll start to decode. Card options. So here's the cut type. That basically is the shape of the cuts. There's our key right there, as you can see. If we wanted a more laser finish where it wouldn't have these high little peaks, we could do that. There are multiple options there for that. That's how you do that. If sorry, back here. If we wanted to change, you know, the cutter, which I don't think you can. There's only really one one of them for double-sided. You know, it does have options there. Yeah, one option. For the clamp, so this is the actual V01V clamp. You can use any jaw on this. You can set it to any jaw, so you can load it in whichever jaw suits you, and then you could go from there. Key length dimension, you can't really change that. Card, there's the card, some details about it. Q job measurements, and there we have it. So you also have the engrave feature down there, but that's something we don't have the drills for, so we can't go into depth on that. Okay, and we're going to go decode, start, lower the shield, and it's now going to start decoding. Really does sound like something bad's happening, but it's not. So we have our code right there. So sometimes on some machines there is ways to actually adjust it. On this one here, I actually haven't you know, found too much need to do it, but here we are here, manual correction. So I could, by putting in a little bit of a measurement there, I could move it up or down, or left or right. And then whether or not it stores it like the HPC Shark, I'm not too sure because I haven't checked it, but manual correction is in there. Okay, so that's basically a stock standard single-sided key, and the information it's displaying, how to put in the information, card number, series number, total cuts, angle of the cut, tip stop in the red line, Q job, card information corrections, decoding, and cuts. Fairly straightforward for most locksmiths. Let's move over to the total. Okay, so let's now use the exact same key, and let's go back to just where we start with the actual. Okay, so there's our series there, and we've got our cuts there, 0 to A, Lockwood series. We go next, enter a valid code. Okay, so let's just put in 411528. Next, and that's what our key should look like. We're using the same key from the other machine. On this side here we have our measurements just like before. We have another little measurement there with a couple of arrows. And moving along you can see what's happening there. We have 0 all the way to A, which is good. We also have the decode function, which is here. It's telling us to go for jaw A, which I'm going to do now. Okay, that's jaw A. And it's telling us to use the shoulder stop, which I'm going to do. Okay, and then I'm going to go next. Please extract the left sidebar tracer. Okay, so with the Ninja Total, you actually have to flick out the decoder, as where the other one's using a different technology, which is a light source of a laser. Next. Clamp the key in the original draw. A, yes. Side A, yes. Okay. Okay, decode complete. And there's our key there. When you see this little red line, it's basically showing you where it should be and where it is. You can make adjustments here a little bit more easier than you can on the Futura. You can recenter it again and pick it up and move it around wherever you're comfortable. So let's go to home button. I think we did that wrong. How do we go back? Lockwood, next, next. Here we are here. This is what we want. We want modify. So here we have decode, code, direct, modify, and engrave. Engrave and all the rest we don't have the drill for, and there's other videos on that. Basically, I'll give you a quick look at that later on as well. So this is how we modify. So we could put in our code here. Where are we? The reason it doesn't have the data in there is because we went back too far. Okay, that's moving down in the actual code, so it's moving down one cut at a time. Now we can go up, down, steps, half step, 10 step, or probably a tenth of a step, full step, half step, and so on and so forth. You can actually move the whole board down. And here we have the ability to set the shape of the cut, laser, barbed, plunge, so that's good as well. Taking it back to where it was. You can link all of these cuts now. Let's just drop this one down, this cut here. Changing, selecting the clamp. We have the ability to change the type of material we're cutting. At the moment we're cutting steel, nickel, silver, aluminium, cutting people, or brass. This one here looks to be the electric contact. So if you're cutting a plastic key, for example, you would turn that off. Okay, let's try something I've never tried on this machine before. Home button. Copy. Okay, so it's something. There's the shape of the key. We're going to lift it up. We'll load in another one. Line the shoulder, drop it down, push the cut button, retract the tracer, operation complete. Please remove key, and you can do it again and again if you want, but we have duplicated a key. Let's do that on the Futura. Okay, let's try the copy function on the Futura. Home button. We don't want that update turning up every time, but it does. Copy. Copy by original. Insert the key into the clamp and blah blah blah. Insert the key like so. And read. You never get used to that sound. Sounds like the machine's been abused. Okay, there's our original out. Here's our new one. Okay, so we can make some calibrations now. If we wish, we can move it forwards, backwards, or up or down. If not, we just copy as it was read. So let's just do that. This time it didn't do it in two or three passes, it did it in one. Do we want to repeat? No, close. Okay, it didn't actually give us a stop. It didn't give us a chance to actually set the amount of passes, so if we wanted to be kinder to it. But anyway, there we have it. Duplicate on the Futura. Works the same way for single and double-sided keys, so that's just the example. Okay, so let's go for removing the cutter now. This knob here we push in on the side. We align this spindle, so we turn it around until it drops in. Then we anti-clockwise it until the cutter comes out the bottom. Because they are quite brittle, because they are extremely strong, you don't want to drop this down. I have broken cutters like that in the past. So I'm just going to put that back in V03, push next. Let's look at another thing, changing the cutter on the Silca Futura. Just lift that up, get that out of the way. The way to do that is to rotate this right here until you find where the hex screw goes. Put your hex tool in, like so, anti-clockwise. Wind it out until the cutter can be removed. Okay, I would advise doing that every few months, so that way they don't get any corrosion or get stuck in there. This cutter here is actually engraved 01WL, which is the one you'd use standard on a lot of car keys. Putting it back in now, be careful not to drop it. Push it all the way home, keep your finger on it, and tighten it tight. Okay, that's how you replace a cutter on that one. You don't want to lose that grub screw. Okay, so for the next example, I thought we'd try and cut a couple of track keys. We have a key and we'd like to cut it. This is an Orion key and we have a number on the back. So let's do a search, find the Silca equivalent, find the card, and let's do a track key. Let's just go back, home button. So we can do this by search, transponder guide, full key search. Let's just do a key search to find out what the equivalent is. So key manufacturer is here. Let's put in the key blank first, and the numbers that appear on this are S4 9H FM, that one there. Okay, so same as the easy line code search. Okay, and there's our key. So we've got the correct key card. So what are we going to put in here? Let's just put a few numbers. Okay, so we put a few numbers in. Normally we could decode, or we could look up the code via having the code from the lock or the manufacturer, and then we could enter in that, and then that will give us our direct code. Confirm. Okay, let's go to, that's what it will look like. Cut. Okay, so now it's telling, I don't know why it's showing us a picture of a dimple key, but anyway, it's telling us the jaw, the cutter, and we've got the correct cutter in, the stop, so it's telling us, I don't know why there's no line there to tell us about the tip stop. Normally it has a little red line there, but today it doesn't. So let's just load it up. Load it up like so. Okay, then we have cutting speed, which we will, and steps. Let's do it in 4 steps. Be good to the cutter. Go. Okay, cutting speed, so everything should be right to go. Start. Lower the cover. Yep. Let's start. Okay, and we have our key that has been cut to the specs we wanted. Alright, now let's do the same thing on Keyline Ninja Total. Search, vehicle, key blank. Let's just search key blank. Okay, so we're looking for the key blank, and let's put in one, same as we did before, S49H. Okay, that was a FMP. Well, that looks like that's correct. Okay, there's no image of it yet. Code. Okay, so let's put in the code that we put in the other one, so we can compare it. So we did 1 1 2 1 2 1 2 1. Next. Okay, so it's asking for the actual code series, so we can't do that. Let's just delete that. 7 0 0 0 0 1. Next. Okay, and that's what our key should look like. So let's go ahead and cut this now. Let's go next. Okay, so we want clamp C30, which we have. 0 degrees, it's brass, yes, and we need to line up with this shoulder there. This key actually has a shoulder, so it looks like you just basically pop it in and it'll be good to go. So there's our clamp, C30, and it says to line up from the shoulder, so just place it in, do like that. Oops, wrong side. I've already cut that side. Okay, so that's in. Now we're going to push the cut button. It's going to tell us to lower the shield. It's going to double check that yes, we've got this one here, 0 degrees, and the right vise. So we're good. Drop that, push OK. Come around this way so we can see it a bit better. Oh, hang on a second. We jaw not installed. So it's actually sensed that we have not put a cutter in. Okay, let's put a cutter in. Okay, now let's try that again. So it's probably going to do some sort of calibration. Cut. Everything's in position. Let's go. Okay, speed-wise, it was definitely quicker than the Futura because it did it in 2 passes. That was selection on my behalf because I chose to do it in 4. So speed for speed, we can't really compare unless we were trying to have a race with them. I believe they would be. I believe the Ninja is slightly faster from what I've seen so far. So there's our key right there. It seems to be cut quite well. Okay, looking over the quality of the cut, and I'm not kind of able to show you on screen because the camera doesn't zoom in that much. Just looking at it there, they both look very clean. You can see every little movement that the machine has made, and the finish is good. I can't really spot them apart. One seems to have smaller movements than the other, but on saying that, they both have done an excellent job. The Futura seems to have more lines in the cut, like movements, as where the Keyline has very small movements. So when I look at it, I can see little lines. The lines are tighter on the Ninja Total than they are on the Futura, but not by much. Not by much at all. Okay, so let's talk about cleanliness. Well, for this machine here, you know, like any good old key machine, brass and stuff gets everywhere. So you need a good paintbrush, one that gets on an angle, one that can get in all those nooks and crannies so that you can clean all those little bits of swarf and push them down. This carriage rides on a big block of metal down the back here, which is like a V section here, and that's sealed so no dust or debris or swarf goes into the motor there. But I like to just give that a little bit of a clean down like that. This carriage here has a plastic cradle over the top of it. I mean, you don't have to remove it, it's just there, makes it look nice and fancy. When you're cleaning, you've got to clean absolutely everything, like always. One thing that you don't have to clean compared to the Silca Futura is this key machine doesn't have a laser sensor, so that's a little bit less maintenance. So I'm just cleaning off all the brass now. The swarf tray on this particular machine is a plastic one which slides in and around. You can remove that completely, and what you're left with is just a metal tray underneath. So I'm just going to clean that off there quick. Okay, so cleaning the Futura, once again, it's just like cleaning any other key machine. Start from the top, work your way down. The laser is there, so you need to get as much as you can out of there. If it's not kept clean and you get any debris, you probably get a bad key read. Once again, it's got that V slide down the back to make sure nothing's getting pushed into the machine, so that's got to be kept clean at all times. A lot of little nooks and crannies to kind of get into, and this brass goes everywhere, so Now getting down the back here is quite hard. There is a tray underneath, so it's like a drain that you just push stuff down there, like so. This covers down, but I don't know how brass gets in this front section. I just don't know. Once you've given it a good clean, you pull the tray out. Okay, so a couple of questions, a couple of comments, let's go through them. Mobile Lockie, this was his comment: hard to get an accurate picture over a short time, but replacement parts cost like cutters, etc. play some part as well. Decoding really worn keys is a good test, and adjusting the cuts easily is another good quality. But for 20k plus, they would want to be good. Look forward to the test. Alright, let's do that. So we need to get ourselves a worn key, an old Commodore key. I think this meets the criteria quite well, so let's pop it open. Okay, so for me, I haven't cut a Commodore key on this machine before, so let's go through and see how we go. And it is a worn key, as you can see. That thing's been to you know where and back. Holden, H-O, Holden, there it is, X. And we want Commodore, anything from VP upwards, Commodore. And let's just pick a 2004, that looks good. Okay, so decode. So we need to put it in jaw 30, side 0 with the tip stop. Let's do that. Jaw's right. There's our little tip stop thing at the front, so we just slide it all the way forward, get it nice and flat, and we should be good to go. Alright, let's drop the shield back to the screen. Where's that screen gone? There it is. Sorry about the camera work. This is no big budget presentation. Next, please extract the right side tracer. Okay, down we go again. Tracer in effect. And I'll leave you probably on this angle here so we can see kind of what's happening. I'm just going to push OK. I'm going to push OK again. It's giving me make sure it's right clamp, right everything. Next, here we go. Okay, back to the screen, or is it really zoomed in there? Okay, decode complete. How did we go? Okay, so where the blue is where it should be, and where the red line is basically where we are. So it's taken the first one as what I can see as a 9, but I reckon the first one could be an 8. So let's change that to an 8. Okay, next one, moving along, should be an 8. Things always wear down, so it'll be lower than higher. So if we're lower, we move up, so it'll be an 8 again. Next, 5, I would be saying it's a 5.2, even though the red line's slightly below there. Yeah, 5 is another good one. 8, yep. 7, yep, I agree. 8, yep. 5. As you can see, they're not exactly in line. Blue is where it should be, red is where we are now. So it's actually taken out that little bit of wear automatically and saying this is most likely what you want. Okay, so now let's do the same test on the Futura. Let's go search, vehicle, vehicle make, H-O-L, Holden, Commodore, C-O, Commodore, 93 plus, Right card. Okay, 10 cuts. Let's go for a decode. Put it in this jaw, line it up to the last tip stop, and then push the start button. Do not decode past your keys because it needs a metal contact just like the other one. Let's go. So there we are there, keys in, tip stop, correct. Alright, so there's the shield all down, lower the tracer knob, dropping this one, and starting now. Okay, so let's see what we came up with. Okay, you can see the important information. Okay, 9856. It's exactly the same as what we were getting on the Ninja Total, exactly the same code. One thing that I can't see is any of the reading. I can't actually see the depths that it actually registered. So as I can see the depths that it should be, I can't see what I actually decoded. I can only see what it tells me it is. So I'll decode data. Okay, so this is the decode data here that it actually read. And as where the Keyline has a little red and blue arrow, this is what it found. So 10 cuts, the cut that it's gone for, nominated value, the depth, and the offset. So the depth. So it came up with 200, so it's going for 203. But the thing is, I don't think it was high. I think that first cut was most likely extremely worn down. So I would have probably gone for an 8 in that position. So as far as the both machines, right, both machines pulling up the same data, as far as being able to alter them, they're, you know, you can alter them on both. You can move it, you can read the cut, you can decode it. There's not much in it. There's a few different buttons. This one has a little red and blue. This one you actually have to push decode data. So I can't really separate them. They both have those functions, and they both do those functions. They both give you the best choice of what it should be. Okay, so another person here whose name, I don't think I'm going to say it right, Palikuri, I think is how you say it, but apologies for getting it wrong. He's put a comment in here, and I think it's only fair we read whatever comments we get. That way we're not being biased to one machine or the other, and just kind of look at the problem or the point of view that they're coming from. Don't buy Keyline, not that the Ninja is not a good machine, but for the fact that there is no support from Keyline. Okay, so when you do buy a key machine like this, and it is, you know, upwards of 20 grand plus accessories and all those sorts of things, support is very important. If you do not have the support, you can be left with something that you can't repair. Having to post one of these items overseas can be very expensive. The Keyline comes in at about 30 kilo, and the Ninja comes in about 20 kilo, plus packaging, plus boxing. So it's not a small or light machine, and it's very sensitive as well. It needs to be treated right, especially in freight. So sending it back to the manufacturer is definitely an undesirable experience, and most likely a very expensive experience. So no support. When you purchase a machine from a local dealer, you get the local dealer support. So you probably get a couple of years there where if something goes wrong, they'll, you know, you give it back to them, they'll fix it. A lot of cases, like with Keyline, they'll actually give you a loan machine. So this is a loan machine where if anyone else's machine who's purchased one through that particular dealer breaks down, they come out and they swap the machine over, they come back, they repair your machine, and then swap it back. So you're not left without a key machine. So you can still continue to make money. And on top of that, when your other one's getting fixed, they're fixing it locally. So is it worth paying that dealer premium to buy it local? And I would say yes, because you have that support, and it's a machine that makes money. So if it stops making you money, you're going to not be making money. It is a little bit extra, but you are paying for that, and that's what it is about, you know, buying from a local dealer. You can always take a risk, it's completely up to you, but that's what it is. And as this guy's saying, he's not getting much support from Keyline. That would be because most likely Keyline saying, well, go through your local dealer. The problem he had was that he put a key in an edge cut, and he went in and it started cutting, and it basically, I don't know exactly, but the cutter stopped and it got stuck. So he did the reset, he did the recalibration, and no matter what he does now, it's actually out. The calibration's always out. So he's done the recalibrations, nothing's working. So what I thought we'll do is we'd actually put the question out there and see if we can get an answer from our local dealer, because this person is in Cyprus, and according to Google Maps, looks like a really nice place. One day I'd like to visit, but because he can't get that support and he can't resend the machine back, maybe we can help him and find out a way of recalibrating it. So I'll ask the question, but that's an important fact of that local support. He says don't buy it because it doesn't have local support. So that really is maybe a fair comment in his side of the world, but in our side of the world, we're in Australia, that's a completely different story. There is support and you do get all that. So that kind of answers that one. As far as the Silca Futura, over here, same deal. The local supplier, the local dealer does have more machines. They can sort them out. They have in-house technicians for both these machines. They're sold by different suppliers, so they both kind of offer the same level of support. So that is the reason why you are paying that extra premium compared to other places in the world which might sell it cheaper. And that level of support is fairly good. I mean, I can't fault it. You have a problem, you return it, they fix it. You don't have to send it around the world. Sometimes they'll even pick it up. They kind of do look after you on both sides of the fence. So for both machines, having that level of support is pretty good considering the price that you're paying for the machine. So I think that answers the question of, would I would probably get the same response from Silca if I was to start emailing them direct. I'd say go through your dealer, and I wouldn't expect it to be any other way. That's just the way sometimes they are. Alright, Jacob. I think that's how you say it, Jacob. Thank you, my friend. Very good to see what you are doing. Here in Sweden, Silca Futura Pro is very expensive. 15,000 USD plus 25 VAT, and you have to pay $500 USD plus 25 VAT for any updates each year. Now let's talk about the updates. As you can see, this one here is crying for an update. When you buy them, you actually do get a couple of years of updates, and then you pay your subscription for your updates later on. And it's the same for both. With Keyline, I know that they're giving 2 years by standard, but if you go through the Australian supplier, you'll get an extra third year for free. With the Silca Futura Pro, I've updated it a couple of times. I haven't had any questions or I had to pay any more subscriptions, so I haven't really had any troubles there. But every time I go to turn it on, I'm seeing this upgrade thing, which I can simply just ignore. So upgrades, yes, upgrades is one of those things that's like they keep you on the leash and keep getting more money off you. There is nothing included. Keymaker, depending on the Silca models, Monopoly. You get from your distributor. Okay, very true. With the Silca Futura Pro, I actually had to purchase Keymaker. Which is that info. Here it is. Okay, so down the bottom under info, code maker, user card management, and that's where you can start to add all the cards in. As you can see, I've only added really a couple of cards into it. So what does that tell you about for a $500 add-on for me? Not too good. Import card from SKP, delete card, edit card, add card. Okay, cool. Now with the with this one here, it's actually included. Okay, so it is in here, and I'm going to see if I can find it. Okay, there we have it. An archive, card maker, custom search, create from standard, create from custom, new card wizard, add card series to custom. So basically we could go through there, and what's interesting here is we've actually got a double-sided and like a dimple key. So let's see if we can actually add a dimple. It looks like we can. So comparing the two against the card maker for Silca Futura is simply for single and double-sided keys, and it looks like the card maker, which is built in, included in with the package with the Ninja Total, can actually do more. and it can do dimple cuts. So interesting. Okay, so I'm just waiting for the Ninja Total just to boot up very quickly. Reason being is because you need to actually connect in your cat LAN cable and then power it on. If you plug it in afterwards, it won't find it. So one thing about the updates that I've got to mention as well, with the Silca Futura, what you actually have to do is you have to juggle around some USB ports on the back. You got to swap that around, tether the tablet to the machine rather than using Wi-Fi, and then use Wi-Fi to connect to the Silca server to allow it to download. So instead of it being wireless to here, you've got to use a USB cable from here to here, so that way they talk to each other, and then use Wi-Fi from here to over there to allow the download. That's just the way that I've been able to achieve it. With the Ninja Total, you can plug in a LAN cable, and this tablet can go through to the server and update as long as it's got internet. So I've been told. I haven't done it. The other way is that you can put in a USB on the side of it. It will download a file to that USB. You then go and open up your Keyline software. You insert the USB. It will read that file, know what machine you've got, and then from there you can download the patch or the latest thing, come back, put it in the machine, and push update, and it should update. So a little bit different. The tablets as well. Another fact to note about this is that this tablet right here is doing it all by Wi-Fi, or it can do it by USB cable. This tablet here is running purely on a cable to communicate backwards and forwards. So slight difference there too, but yet achieving the exact same thing. What I noticed is that with the Silca Futura, it actually has a plug pack, and it can be multi-voltage. So if you were to plug in 110 into that plug pack using your standard computer cable, then it will work. If you were to plug in 240, then it will work. I've made the mistake for the last year and a half actually running an inverter and a step-down transformer to convert it to 120, when all I really needed to do was just change the plug, and the power pack was able to do both voltages. Right now it's running on 240. It's spent the rest of its life running on 110, and all I did was change the cable. As where the Ninja Total, it does have a US model, 110, and it does have a 240 model. I'm not too sure, and I haven't taken this machine apart to actually find out to see if there's a switch inside that you can just flick or switch. There's a possibility a lot of machines do have that. Sometimes it's a completely different machine where it's got a different power pack on the inside, and I'm not going to risk plugging 110 volt in to see if it's going to boot up or not. It's just too risky. So those might be interesting for somebody who's thinking about perhaps importing a machine or buying one secondhand from a different country. You don't know if it's, we don't, with the Futura we know, with this one I don't know. So if anybody knows whether or not you can flick a switch on the back of it, or if you can just change the plug and the internal circuitry is allowing it to do both voltage, that might be handy for somebody who's trying to make that decision. Okay, linking to Instacode, so you can send a code up and down. I believe this is a new feature now it's here, so I've got to setting it up for the first time. Not much fun, but let's see how it went. So on the machine side of things now, I've got the Futura plugged in with a LAN cable to my switcher. I've also got my laptop, which has Instacode on it, plugged into a switcher as well, and I've turned off my Wi-Fi settings, so I'm not going to pick up a different network. And then I've gone to information, and I've gone to settings on the side here, network settings, local network mode here, and then security options, all this, and then I've gone down to pick my internet setting, which should be Nay Lounge, I believe it is. Where is it? It's disappeared. Maybe that was a wireless one. Anyway, I did that. Then I went over to the tablet. Let's zoom on down here. Sorry about the camera work. I'll make this quick. And the first place I went to is close that. First place I went to is settings. So setup, machines, Silca Futura, and I put in the same IP address which I found on the Futura. And to find that IP address, let me show you here. Sorry about the camera work. Close. I scrolled across and you just do a swipe on the side of the screen and it gives me the IP address. Cancel. Then I come back down to my tablet. I zoom in again. Okay, and then I push the test button. And if you come up with a version 3.21.0, you are good to go. So now the test is, now I've got the machine in there, I'm going to close that off. I'm going to put in just a really simple code. I can't see much in here. 003, and that's just going to be a lower and Fletcher. I'm going to type in the dark. I should learn to touch type. Focus. Go there, lower and Fletcher, and then we're going to do a search. And that's going to pull up just a very standard mailbox key, and that's going to be our example. So we've got that code now. Now we're going to go to cut key. We're going to select Silca Futura, and we're going to go next. And that should actually be transporting the data over to here. Just get this camera right. Finished. Okay, now we have to find it in here. So if we just go back to the home button, too much home, that home. Okay, and we should be able to find this in queued jobs now. So this was 003 key of Lauren Fletcher. And there it is there. Card number, code number, job. Can we bring that up? Okay, we've got no cuts in there. Cancel. Let's try that again. Okay, there's our job there. Let's just double click that, double click that. One of these buttons should, alright, select, start. Okay, so it's telling me now to load this into the machine, load my key in this position, and we push the start button and it should start. Check the mobile tracer position. Let's check that. Mobile tracer position. Oh, okay. Reason being is because we have this down. And that's why it wouldn't operate. Let's throw a key blank in there and see how it goes. Alright, key blank going in. Side A is good for me. It's back. Oh, no. No. We have reloaded. I don't know why, but we have kind of reloaded there. Queue jobs. Ah, it's still there. Select. Start. Start. Okay, let's go over here. Now here's the moment of truth, because I have... Oh. So here's a moment of truth because I have a set of vernier calipers, and I'm going to check this bad boy and see how accurate we are. Okay, so the specs that it sent over to the machine is the specs coming from Instacode, not the specs it has on the card in the machine. So whatever, if it says 590, 515 or 400 for depth, that's what I should be getting. So I'm going to use my vernier calipers. I'm just going to zero it. We're zeroed. The first one's 2, so that should be 515. Ooh, look at that. 515 on the money. That's very good. Next one is a 2 cut. We've done that. We want a third cut is a 1, 590. Remeasuring. 583. Remeasuring. 583. Very close. And the last cut is once again a 1, so that should be, we've got 598. Remeasure. 59586. So extremely close. By all means, that is a working key, and the only thing we didn't check was the spacing. Let's just do a quick check on that too, just to make sure. 420, I should be in the valley. I'm at, yep, 420 is dead smack in the valley. Valley goes from 400 to 440 or 450, so the valley is definitely wide enough. Okay, so cutting a key by sending the code from Instacode to the machine, now a possibility. It wasn't when it came out, but now with the next update they've done it. Let's do the same on the Ninja Total. Okay, connecting the Ninja Total to Instacode via a laptop, via a LAN connection. So the Ninja Total is plugged into my switcher, my laptop is also plugged into the switcher, and we're going to get them on the same network so we can send a job down to this machine. So to do this, I'm on the home screen. I'm going to go Setup, I'm going to go Parameters, I'm going to scroll down here until I see IP address. There it is there. That's my IP address there, 192.168.1.79. And then I come over to, sorry, that's my gateway, gateway IP address there. Okay, so let's now go over to the laptop and see what we can do with that to connect. Let's put in the IP address, which is now coming up on screen on the Ninja Total, which is IP address is 192.168.1.79. 1.79. Okay, that's what its IP address is. Let's try this search for machine. Search. If it finds it, it'll be a little bit easier for us because then we can just double click it and it should have things like its port in there as well. Okay, no found. Test. Resolve IP address, we'll do all the tests, resolved. Ping it, set a ping. Packet sent 4, packets received 4, okay. Machine status, let's hope we get it this time. Okay, we got it. Machine, read machine status 700. Read machine information, we should be getting that too now. Okay, whole heap of numbers, serial number, type, port number, firmware, all the good stuff. Okay, so we're going to close that now. Now we've got the same key we had in the previous example, Lauren Fletcher 003. I've already loaded the key just to save a bit of time, so I'm going to send that across. I'm going to select the key machine I want to cut it on now, and I'm going to hit next. Once I hit finish, it should send the machine sending data across. It's a good sign. Okay, let's go across. Okay, so now we've sent the information from the Instacode via the LAN cable over to the machine. Let's go now and find it and activate it. So, if I'm not mistaken, personal computer, or personal computer is the first option. Then you go Instacode. Notice it has Instacode, Pro Master, Ever, which is locked, which it has, and this ESCO. We're going Instacode, to do, and here is our key located right here. So we're going to go next. This is the one we sent across. Telling us to put it in jaw A and position 1, which we've done. So now I'm going to show you before I push the next button, I'm just going to show it to you being cut. Then we're going to measure it. Alright, cut. Okay. Procedure complete. Okay, now this has done a bit more of a laser type cut. Obviously the setting was on that, so that's why it did it. Now let's run the vernier calipers over, square them off. The first one is a 2, which should be a 515. Put that in there and just measure it. 510, 490. So I'm basically getting 502. 503. I should be getting 515, so slight calibration needed there. The next cut I can try is the 1 cut, and I'm just going to measure that one. I should be getting 590, I'm getting 580, 570, maybe am I getting at the right spot? 570, 580, 580. So I can tell that this machine right now is 0.10 calibration down, I would say, because whatever the data is being sent across, if it's slightly down, you'd move it up because it should match the data which is coming from Instacode. It could also be wear in the cutter. After a certain amount of time, the cutters do wear down. Slight adjustment, but by all means, that key is so close, it's definitely going to work. We're talking very, very small tolerances. Okay, so that is the example of sending Instacode from one machine to the next, and that was on the Silca Futura and the Ninja Total. Okay, so questions and answers. We had one from DWB178, boot time. So I thought what I'll do is I won't just do the boot time, I'm going to do the shutdown time and the boot time on both machines. Okay, there's my little stopwatch if you can see it, and let's go. Okay, so power down time, less than a second. Let's restart that. Power up time. 20 seconds. 25. 30. 35. 40. 45. 55. Yeah. Keep in mind, so that means that you'll have to plan up here, especially because you've got the same line, might be a little quickness. 115. 125. 130. 135. 140. Okay, stop. Okay, so I'm saying 140. I've got it at 143, but I was a bit slow on the stop there. Okay, now let's do the Futura. Okay, here we go. Okay, powering down. So first thing I have to do here is tell the machine to power down. I have to wait for the green light now to go off before I can remove mains power from the machine. That's off. I now need to hold this button down for a period. Power off. Okay. Okay, I've got that at about 22 seconds. Now let's go for power up. Starting test number 2 on the Silca Futura Pro and powering up machine, powering up tablet. Looks like I'm testing down, and I was putting that before you start count, so I'm going to do this test about 10 seconds. 10 seconds is not pretty much. 35 seconds. 40. 45. 50. 55. 60. 25. Yeah, sure, maybe, but it's not. 15. It's connected to the machine now. Okay, and stop. So I've got 126, but as you saw, just to be fair, I actually started up the machine, and while I was holding the button to power it on, I started the clock, so I started it late. So I've got 126. I'm going to be fair and just give it 136. So the difference between the two machines, I'm calling it about less than 10 seconds, maybe 5-6 seconds. Okay, another one of the comments was menu navigation, so I'm going to take you through and try and show you as much as I can without going so in depth that you fall asleep. Search function. Standard, vehicle, dimple, full key searching, or transponder guide. Just like Instacode, I put in my code, my card number, my serial number. Sorry, the card serial number. You can use Instacode there, it's got a little logo, or you just use the Silca ones. Key blank, key manufacturer, cuts, lock manufacturer, lock type. That's for standard. Go back home. Clear. Back. Too far back. Home. Okay, search again. We have vehicle, dimple, dimple track. Let's just do a dimple for that one. Lock manufacturer. MT5. Nope. Lock system. Let's try that. MT5. Okay, there we have that one. Search. Then we select, once it shows the image, we can know that we're talking about the right one, and no images come up, so we're just going to push card. Okay, and that's how we navigate the most standard of the menus to do a search. Basically, to do a search by code, search for our keys, search for transponder, dimple, very standard. Queue jobs. This is where the jobs that we've sent to the machine are sitting in queue. I can select that one and I can delete. I can also modify pieces and things like that. Okay, engraving. We don't have the engraving jig, we don't have the cutters, but let's just try and push a few buttons here and see what we got. Okay, so example of what we can engrave, where we can engrave it. Probably can insert some text here now if we wanted. Text. Here we go. Here. HELLO. Go. Drop that menu down. So hello. Can we move that up? Yes, we can, just by pushing the little arrow keys. So basically engraving. Back. Okay, copy key function, copy by original, copy vehicle key. So you put it in there, you select the clamp you want, and it basically goes through, it reads it, and then it copies it. And you can either do basically copy by where it was, or corrections. Vehicle key, this is copy by vehicle key. So here you can select the make and model of the key, so at least then the machine knows kind of what it's dealing with when we're copying it. So it can probably make some more good little choices for you. Favorites. These are some cards that you've got where you've hit the little favorite icon, which is located up top. This allows you to come back to them quickly and easily. This one up the top is one that I use a lot, so I've favorited it. The next one is, I don't want to give a new name, but the next one is this Lockwood one. I use that a lot, so that's why it's in my favorites. Just by hitting the button, I don't have to do the search each time, so it's a little bit better. Options. So this is basically all your information, a little bit of calibration, maintenance. And sorry, I've got a maintenance, so I'm just going to lift the cover. See? Updates, backup restore, which can be done by USB, user series management, which can't really do much. They're the cards that I've kind of created. How do we get back? If I push this, it's going to jump out. Of course it does. Home, let's go back, because where were we? Options. Upgrades, you push that, you check for upgrades. Backup and install by USB. User series is where we got lost the other time. And here's Code Maker. Now I might just have a quick, I'll do Code Maker in a separate one. And information up top, just all the information, software guide, things along those lines. And I can open up a PDF with the software guide in it. Okay, now how do we get out of that? Let's take you through. So if you've got the time, you can read through that. Okay, back to home. Updates, it had it there before, but updates take you to where we were. Information, and once again, it's very similar to info. It takes you to the same spot. It's just takes you to one particular page. So those two buttons are the same. Secret little function down here, and it's also got this little download the smart app if you want, but whatever. Little search button up top here, take you to the search one. Copy button up here, take you to the copy one. Back to the home button. Three little buttons at the top here, take you to the info one. So just a couple of little shortcuts there. On the left here, if we swipe left, machine status, connect to, restart machine, reset access, change keyboard, machine registration, update Futura, recovery tools, and that's just a little swipe on the left. I think that pretty much covers the menu. Let's look at the Ninja. Okay, menu walkthrough on the Ninja. Now, keep in mind that I've only had this machine for less than 48 hours, and I've never used one before, so I'm not as familiar as I am with the Silca. So let's go through. First of all, you've got a password on it. You can put a password if you want. You've got admin and users. That's something that the Silca didn't have. So we'll go through to our main home page. Okay, favorites. These will be all the cards and favorites that you've selected and you use a lot. And because this is a loan machine, it doesn't have a lot in here. You can modify, you can delete, and most likely when you're in a card, you'll have a little button that you can add, which will appear here. So that will make it quicker for when you're, let's say, doing a key that you've done a million times. You can push favorite, pull it up, hit it again, bring up that card, rather than needing to do a new search. Vehicles. These are all the vehicles in the list here. We could go through and put V, and basically a couple of letters out of the name, and it will bring it up. Then we select the one that we want via year, via the code that we have, and then we can go through decode, code, direct code, modify, and also engrave. So that's doing a basic search for a car key. Cylinders, which is like your standard type, put in Lockwood, or lock focus, that will do. Lock focus, so we go through once again, we can go through via the card, we can go through via the number. It's giving us our profile down here of the key. With the Silca, it gives you a picture of the key. This is giving us a bit more, it's giving us like the profile. Then we can go through and put a code in if we wish. So it starts off with 60 and then our code 001 or 60400. So I'm just going to put in the same code we had put it beyond before and see if it adds that 60. No. It won't. So 60 to start off with, 003. Next. Why does it not match? That should match. Please enter a valid code. Okay, 60121. Next. The code, it doesn't match. Okay, not sure why it doesn't match. As I said, I'm not very familiar with it. Direct code. Okay, now here it is here. We just put in a code like that. We could go next. We could cut it. Let's go back. Or we could even, if we don't know our code, we could put question mark, question mark, question mark, hit the decode, push next. It'll go through and actually decode it. Cancel, back, back. Modify. We can do modifications to the key if we want. Go between cuts, half cuts. Measurements are on the screen, and that'll tell us where we are or what we're going to be. If we want to decode it, it'll tell us where we are. But these are the depths of the cuts, which they should be to manufacturer's specifications. So to bring it back to specs, basically. Okay, copy function. So extract the left side trace bar. Basically, you load it in and you do a decode. It'll decode it and then it will copy it. Then you have your options of whether or not you want to cut to original or cut to what it's come up with. Archives, export, import, card maker, engraving. Now this is where we sent a key on the previous test. I've deleted that now. Setup, calibration, jaw setup. So these are all the jaws. I'm not going to mess with them. So they're all the jaws, and we could go through and make adjustments if needed. Tracer. There's our tracer. Once again, we can make adjustments if needed, but I won't be messing with that. Tracer setup and small adjustments if needed. Save button there. Adapter setup. Okay, and adjustments can be made there as well. Touchscreen. No, we don't want it. That's calibrating the touchscreen, and then we have reset. We don't want to push that. Diagnostics. Input status. Machine status. Okay, can we see the shield move on this? Yep. Shield closed, so it's picking it up. Back. Machine status. Back. Machine stats. Sorry, back. Machine test. Left motor, right motor, electronic contacts, access, and all that. If we do that, it'll go on further. Network test, system monitor, internet export log, the motherboard, the temperature, the disk space, USB stick test, special access, write firmware. No, definitely don't want to do that. Okay, there is another one here where I think it's under calibration. Sorry, no, it's not. There's another one here where you can actually check the amount of keys and things. Parameters. So parameters is where we get our IP address, and you go through here, application, custom, interface, date, time, format, IP address, networking, system, USB. So here, down here, you can even set your key manufacturers to the one you prefer. If Silca is the one you use all the time, then you can move Silca to the top. The second, you could put Keyline, or you could put Keyline first, Silca second, JMA third, or whichever ones really suit you. Back. Okay, that's that menu. Search. RN search, code search, card search, cylinder search, vehicle search, motorbike search, key blank search, advanced search. Okay, so I'm just going to try and put something C209 next. Okay, and that's what it came up with, C209. So I put in, all I knew was the code. I don't know what manufacturer. I just plugged it in there and it's showing me what it is. Okay, that's search for you. Personal computer. So this is very interesting because it actually has ProMaster. It's only recently that the Futura has actually been able to be talked to by Instacode, but this one has it. Instacode, ProMaster to-do list, and there's a job test that they've sent down next, and that's cutting a carber key. See that? That's a dimple key. So that's been set down from ProMaster, from a master keying software program where it's got all the keys, the combinations, everything, and you've clicked on your ProMaster, cut this key. It sent it down via the LAN cable down to the machine, and when you walk up to the machine, it's in the queue section, you pick it up, you load the key, you do everything it's telling you to do, and away you go. It should pump out a nice key. Done, errors and deletes. No errors. That's good. Data. Okay, not too familiar with that. And this one. What's this one? Okay, you need to have some sort of rights for that by the look of it. And that seems to be the that seems to be the main menu. We have a button here. Do you want to log out? No. So we can log out. So you could be in administrator mode or user mode, and you can kind of lock some of your users out or some of your staff out from doing restricted keys or messing with your tablet, which is definitely a good function. Okay, that was the menu walkthrough. Okay, another one of the questions there by one of the viewers was code maker. So let's go through and try and make a card. I've never done it before, but let's try it. Okay, custom to create from standard, create from custom, or wizard. Let's try wizard. Okay, so we're just a single-sided with a tip stop here, that's fine. Okay, so our first position here, I'm looking at Instacode, and my first position is 420. So how do I get to move that along? That one? No. That one? No. And the angle I want is 100 degrees. So it's 110. So let's plus a little. There we go. So I'm changing my angle now to 110. Now I need to change my position. And how do I do that? Here we go. Let's plus a little bit. Nope. Take that away. There we go. And now let's plus the next one. The next one should be at 660. So let's bring that back a bit. Where have I gone? 660. Then I'm going to plus the next one, be at 900. Perfect. Then I plus the next one, it's going to be at 1140. That's perfect. And then I plus one more, it should be at 1380, which it is. Okay, so I can't push next, so what do I do now? Oh, no. So what do I do now? Okay, so not that one, no. Back. Okay, so it's remembered our measurements. Yes, they're coming up right, the angle's right. So now let's do our depths, which is this up and down one. Okay, symbol, yes. So how do we do this? Plus one. Plus one. Okay, so the first depth, a one cut, should be 560. So let's work on this one if we can. How do we get back over here? A one cut should be 560, so let's... 480. Why are we getting 480? Okay, so it's, from what I can see, is back to front. When I want to do a three cut, it should be a 440. Okay, and then we move on to the next one. A two cut should be 515. I'm setting up LNF spacing for, okay, so I've got 510. I can't do 515. Why can't I do 515? Oh, you can move the numbers around, okay. So if we want to move the numbers around, let's move this back here and let's make that a 3. Oh, you can't make it a 3 because it's already been allocated somewhere. It's a 1. 590 is a 1. That's a 3. 1, 2, 3. 440, yes. 515, close enough. And 590. Okay, so that's done. So now, let's try the back button once again. So we should have our depths in there. Next. So I'm putting in the key blank there. Next, description. I just did it as description. Next. Click on the desired service type and select it. Direct, indirect, direct. That means we put in the code as far as the bitting. Okay, save. Okay, there we are there. Next. I've just loaded up a key. Let's drop the shield. Let's drop the camera down. Keep in mind, I've never made a card on the Silca Ninja before. This is my first one. I didn't read the instructions. I just went through and plotted it. So first time, that's how long it took. Next, cut. See how we go. Okay. Now remember our 2 cut is a little bit out, but I've got my vernier calipers here. And I've got my Instacode going. process is complete. Okay, let's check it now. Vernier calipers, they're pretty good. So the first cut, 589. Okay, so that's a one cut. Second cut should be 515. I got 495. Remember, this machine was that little fraction out. It was 10 out on the last read anyway, so that's where it can probably be adjusted. I should be getting 440. I'm getting 424. So by all rights, it's done exactly what it should be doing. The one thing that I forgot to do with this key here was I forgot to widen the valleys to give them a little bit more room. I plotted it exactly. It did a plunge cut, but I should have probably got it to go down, take a little bit, and then go back out. So first plotting on the first time I've ever plotted a card on Ninja Total Futura. Now I'm getting all mixed up. Ninja Total by Keyline, and it took maybe 3-4 minutes to actually plot, and it worked out, and it was perfect. If I was to now go through and do that small correction, that card would be perfect. Now let's do it on the Ninja Total. No, Futura Pro. Okay, now I've only ever plotted 3 cards in my life on this thing, so you'll have to bear with me here again. I'm going to go to Info, I'm going to go down to Code Maker, User Card Management, Add Card, Standard or Dimple, Standard. We're going to add the exact same card. Card number, locking system, EMF Test, drop that down. Key blank dimensions. Which dimension is it asking for? The thickness. Okay, 600 is the max thick, is the height of the actual, well, thickness of the height. 600. Back, get rid of that. Type. Single-sided. Next. The clamp. Let's just go for, it's a standard clamp. Side. Let's go for A. That's the most common. That's just butting it up in there. Reference, we should be going for head, which is like a shoulder stop. Stop, 0 position, which is when we flick up our guide, that would be 0 position. Key type, select a cutting method. So this is where it's going to either plunge or do like a laser cut. So I think we just go for that one. That's just a standard one. Cutter type, and it's a standard cutter. Next, because it's a single-sided key. Okay, so we're going to do depths. So we're going to add a depth. Symbol will be 1, and depth will be 590, 590. Okay, and we'll add another depth, and the symbol will be a 2, and the depth will be 515. Okay, we'll add the third depth. Symbol will be a number 3. Third depth will be 440. Okay, now we'll go next. Now we're going to do our cuts. So we're going to, here we go, down here, down the bottom. It's asking us for an angle. Instacode is telling me 100 degrees. Okay, 100 degrees has been put in there now. So we're going to add our spacings. So this is where it gave me a lot of trouble before. Cut base. So we're going to say this is position 1, and the space from there to there is 420. Okay, that's from the shoulder of the key out. Now the next space, we don't measure from the shoulder, we measure from the first cut to the second cut. So we have to, the next one from the shoulder is 660, and we have to take 420 off that. Where's my screen gone? 420, so what are we, 400 and 440 across. So we go 2, and we go 440, okay, and we go for the next one, and we do the same there. We put position 3, 440 across for that cut as well, and what are we up to? 440. Okay, add fifth spot, 440. Okay, angle and our spacing. See how the spacing is completely different to every other system? We actually go from the shoulder to the first cut. First cut we measure to the next cut. Next cut we measure the next cut. Took me a little while to work that out. Had a lot of trouble with it. We're checking over everything now. Key blank dimensions, all that sort of stuff. Our spaces, our depth. We'll go preview just to see that, all the worlds align and we've done everything right. 420, 420, and the depths are here. See how it's got this right here? This is what I did wrong on the other one. So that's basically where it needs to be widened just a little bit. Okay, axis does nothing. back. So can we change this? How do we change that thing? Look, it's only an example. So the only thing that I'm missing here is where the cut is like this. I want to widen it to give it a wider base. That's the only bit I sort of messed up on there. Save. Test. Okay. Card options. Clamp, cutter, key blank dimension. Okay. Card option Q measurements. Can we change it at all? No, we can't. Cancel. Okay, now it's time to cut a key and to test it. So 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, confirm. Okay, it's ready to cut. So I've got to put a key into it now. Where's the blank key? Here's the blank key. I have to follow all the instructions, which should pop up now. There we are. Put your key in, put it in drawer A, use the top, use the standard guide, and start. Okay, so let's see if we got this right or if we completely failed. Okay, so first position across should be 420 to our first cut. Yep, that's right. And the depth of our first cut is a 3. That should be a 440, 448. That's very good. Our next one was a 2, 504. That's good because it's 510. And the one cut should be, the one cut should have been 590. I'm getting it as about 580. Oh, there we go, 579. So that's quite precise. The spacing on the next cuts, what cuts were it? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the actual spacing here is completely messed up. This should be cut number 1, this should be cut number 2, and that's cut number 3. And there should be 5 cuts. I've only got 3 cuts in there. So still I need to do some more work and training on Code Maker on the Silca Futura, but for all example purposes, that's what it is. So there's a few little mistakes I've made there. So I actually found the Ninja to be quicker and easier than the Code Maker on the Futura. So, you know, basically, you know, I'm not highly experienced at it. I've used it a couple of times and, you know, I've messed up there. So this total length of the blade is too much. These digits here, one to the next, are too much. So a little bit work needed, but that's Code Maker example on the Silca Futura. Okay, so the two machines in conclusion, the statement, all that sort of stuff. Big thanks to Lock and Key for lending me the machine. I don't think many other people, you know, would loan me such an expensive machine, and it is a big ask, and they came through and they even dropped it off for me. So yeah, the support and all the rest you do get from the manufacturers is pretty good in Australia. Other places not so much. And with a machine like this, they're so complicated and they're computerized. There's so many sensors, so many different technologies working in there. It's a lot different from the old key machine days where you could pull it apart, give it a lubricant, put it back together and realign it. So yeah, they do need to be kept well, they do need to be maintained, and you do need that support. As far as work for work, they both do the exact same job. One I can find a little bit easier to use in some sensors, the other one I can find a little bit easier in some other sensors. So very, very close competition, both of which are going to do the job as a professional computer automated key cutting code machine. And I'd like to say that I wasn't paid for any of this. Nobody's paid me anything. All I got was a loan off the machine, so the opinions based in this are my own. So they're not coming from anywhere professional, from any of the manufacturers or anything. There's no bias between these two machines in this review. We've only stated the facts and what we found about it, so that way you can make your decisions on it based on your own decisions. And hopefully with the information that we've given you, it gives you a good run through, gives you a good idea, a place to start, and on what they do. So that's what we've come up with. Thanks for all the people who left comments, and once again, thanks for watching.